Well, ladies and gentlemen, the last presenter of the day is probably going to be your most exuberant presenter. It would not surprise me if she don't run out in the middle of the room here somewhere and jump up on tables, maybe shoot out the lights. I don't know, but she gets pretty excited about things. So, having said that, I want to introduce to you Dawn Heitman. She is our human resources person, and she's going to be talking to you about equal employment opportunity training as well as employee hiring practices.
Well, good afternoon. Okay. All right. So a little bit about me is I like to see you all participate with me. So everybody stand up. Stand up. Stand up. All right. Listen up. Okay. All you're going to do is simply a breathing exercise for you and me. All right? So you're ready for this. Okay. So all you have to do is breathe in, and watch me first. Breathe in, all the way up, and then breathe out. All right, everybody has to do it. Come on, one more time. Let's go. Breathe in, and out. One more time. Okay, and one more thing, because I like you so much. Give yourself a big, big hug. Hug yourself a big, big hug. All right, stand. All right, I don't know if they say the best for last or what, because you know you're all hungry and you're ready to go out to the Texas Rose and get some Mungia's really good barbecue and listen to Clyde and his band, right? So you're like, okay, can you give us the Cliff Note version? All right, I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of my presentation right up front, and then I'm going to go into the presentation. The Cliff Note version is this: be nice, and treat everybody fairly. Okay? That's the Cliff Note version. Now, this doesn't mean that you can go to sleep now. All right. If we are ready to roll. How many, while they're getting me ready over here, how many of you, this is the first time that you've attended a workshop with us? Oh, awesome. This is so good. This is great. Okay, so raise your hand of those people. Raise your hand if you are a district director. Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. And district employee. Awesome. An NRCS employee. Awesome. Great. Well, I'm really, really glad that y'all are here today. And I hope that all of you will consider coming over to our office tomorrow. I know Rex talked about it this morning, but we are really blessed with having a very nice office that the Facilities Commission built for us. And we would love for you all to come over. And I sent an email out right before I left on everybody kind of tidying up their office. So hopefully that worked. I'm hoping. So I'm lost. Y'all may get the Cliff Note version. Okay, yeah. All right. I have to really mind my P's and Q's because I'm being videotaped, and so I can't do some of the things that, you know, I can't act too silly in front of y'all, so here we go. All right, it's basically two presentations combined into one, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is equal employment opportunity. Okay, this is the EEO statement. And basically the statement states that each of the districts are equal opportunity employers and that you do not discriminate against job applicants or employees based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, age, disability, or veteran's status. Okay, so this is the Civil Rights Act, and the act basically states that personnel decisions that could affect employment opportunities prohibits discrimination. Okay, that's all it states. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of break it down. Okay, so you say race. Well, what does race really mean? Race means whether or not you're Caucasian or African American or American Pacific or Alaskan. That's what that means. Okay, so that's race. Color means, okay, so just because I am pretty fair skinned, you would think that I would be Caucasian, but I might have some Indian blood in me. Okay, so that's what they're talking about as far as color goes. National origin, okay, so that's where you were born. Okay, so for example, I was born in Temple. My maiden name was Vashek. So that is a Czech heritage name. And so you cannot discriminate against me because my background is Czech and now is German. Okay? Religion, okay, so I was raised Baptist, but now I'm Methodist. You can't discriminate against me because you're of another religion. Okay? All right, factors. Now in this day and time, we're just going to keep it real, folks. Okay, so here we've got male or female. Okay, next slide. All right, we're cruising, folks. Okay, we've got barbecue to eat. Okay, we've got barbecue to eat. All right. Okay. Veteran status. We're moving, folks. We're moving. Veteran status. I've got the chairman of the board sitting right here. Okay, he is my big boss. So I got to do what he says. Okay, so veterans. We give preference to veterans, but it doesn't matter what branch you are. Okay, all right. Americans with ADA. Okay, so this has gone kind of full circle lately. There's constantly laws and rules that we need to put in place to accommodate. The main thing is that we just need to make accommodations if there is someone with a disability. Okay? And before I move to the next slide, let me just say this. Say, for example, that you have somebody that does have a disability and you do need to make accommodations for them. And you say, well, golly, that's going to cost the district a whole bunch of money. Well, okay, so there's a couple of clauses in there, so it kind of depends on how much monetary value it's going to take to make the accommodation, okay? So for example, in our agency, if we have someone, say for example, that has a hearing impairment, I'm just going to say this for example, and that particular person has requested a different type of telephone or a device for the telephone for him to be able to communicate better, then we will make that accommodation for them. So that's what I'm kind of talking about there. Okay, age discrimination. Wow, I've been doing this for a really long time, and basically what this thing says is over 40 and older. I'm really aging myself now. I'm now 50, so I'm in a protected class, and I have been for 10 years. So in any case, just to understand, if you are 40 or over, then you are in a protected class. What does that mean? Okay, what does that really mean? Does that mean that you can't be let go? No, that doesn't mean that. It just means that you are in a protected class. Okay? Equal pay. Okay, I'm not going to read this because you can read this, right? Okay, what that right there means is that if I am doing one job, okay, so here, we'll just put this into perspective. We have a wonderful, how many of you know Kendria Ray? Raise your hand. Okay, Kendria is one of our field reps, and she is the only female field rep, okay? And if you were to set her up against one of the male field reps, that had the same tenure as Kendria, we would want to make sure that their pay grade was pretty much even, okay? We wouldn't want to pay a male more than a female if they're doing exactly the same job, all right? So that's that. Ooh, here we go. All right, remember I have to mind my P's and Q's because I'm on camera. So what is sexual harassment? How many of your districts have a sexual harassment policy in place? Does anybody? Your district does. Good. What district? And what number? 2. And your field rep is? Ben Wilde. Ben Wilde. Oh, he's not here right now. Or he is. I saw him. Good job, Ben Wilde. Okay, sexual harassment. We're going to talk about that a little bit. There are examples on our website. If your district would like to adopt a sexual harassment policy, I would highly recommend doing that. Sexual harassment can be in a number of ways. It can be in a form of based on sex, unwanted sexual advances. It can be on a not nice joke. It could be on me coming up to somebody and saying, "Wow, you look great today," and that person might take that as a sexual advancement. That's a no-no. So what used to be okay is not okay anymore, okay? Verbal, physical, looking at something not nice is not right. Saying something that's not nice is not right. Even if you say something that is nice, that could be construed as not nice. So, in other words, be careful, okay? I'm just saying. All right. Now then, we're going to move on to the hostile work environment. Okay, so once again, it doesn't matter. It might be verbal, physical. You need to think about how often it was repeated. If it was offensive, was it to a coworker? Was it with another affiliate? Who all's taking part in this situation? And whether or not it was with one or more people. Okay, so next slide. Okay, before we just pause there for a second. Before we move on into the next slide, what is very important to do is to understand that sexual harassment is not tolerated, okay, period. And that is why it's really important to get with your district and see about adopting some type of policy. And you can get with your field rep and they can help you with regard to that. The other thing is when you do adopt a policy like this, you need to understand that if somebody brings up a situation to, say, the board, the local board, that particular person there would be no retaliation. Okay, that person is just simply explaining the situation to the board, and there is no retaliation. An investigation would take place, and then obviously we would want a very good outcome. Okay, so the main thing to understand is that it's not tolerable, but it is taken very, very seriously. Okay. All right. That being said, we'll move into the hiring practices. And so we have a lot of new employees in here. So obviously you went through, or I'm hoping that you went through some type of an interviewing process. And so we're going to kind of talk about that. Okay, once again, let's say, for example, that you have a position that you want to fill. And say, for example, it's a bookkeeper position or a clerk, secretary type position. And you have someone that you want to interview, and that person says, well, I'm in a wheelchair, for example, and so I need some accommodations. You just need to make sure that your office is able to make those accommodations for that applicant, okay? So we'll talk about, say, for example, a bookkeeper. If you do need a bookkeeper, you might want to take a look at what all that bookkeeper needs. What do you need in a bookkeeper? So the first thing you need to do is evaluate the needs. If your bookkeeper for 25 years retired, maybe what he or she does or did is not maybe what you all need currently. So it's a great idea to look at the needs of the position. Then you need to figure out what kind of qualifications you're wanting that specific person to have, okay, for that position. And then what can I pay that person, okay? Okay, then you make a job announcement. Hopefully, I don't know where to stand. You can start with an internal posting, which means you can send it out to all of the districts if you want to. You can put it on workintexas.com. You can send it to universities or say colleges in your area. And you can also use any type of minority organizations or companies along with your newspaper. And in the back of the, not your work, but in the back of the Manual of Physical Operations and on the on our website under SWCDs, there's a resource area. And you can click on that button and there's all kinds of information under Human Resources that goes over like even a job description for, say, for example, a bookkeeper. Okay? Okay, then we'll move on to the pre-interview process. You'll ask them to fill out the application, okay? There is an application online under Resources, under HR, on our website that's specifically approved for the districts, okay? So if you want them to fill out an application, that's a great application to fill out. If not, they can simply submit a resume. Then what you would do is, this is not necessary, a lot of times we do it at the state level, but it's important sometimes to put down who all has applied for the job, okay? You never know when someone, I remember right when I first started with the agency, you could get an open records request for someone wanting to know who all applied for this particular position. So that's the reason why I would suggest some type of a little log, whether it be a little spreadsheet or a little chart or something like that, that you can just list who all applied for the job. Then you want to screen the applicants. You want to find out whether or not each person that's applied for the job, if they're qualified, okay? If they're qualified to do the job. Then you have an interview team. Generally speaking, who would be on the interview team? Tell me somebody that would be on the interview team. Raise your hand. Chairman, okay. Why would it be important for the chairman to be on the interview team? Who does the district employee work for? Okay, perfect, okay. So you want, you don't want a quorum, right? Or you're gonna have to post the meeting and you don't want to do that. So, I mean, you can do that, but I would recommend not. But the chairman would be a great person to have in there. Also, I would recommend, if you want to, your field rep, because that field rep definitely is trained in job interviewing situations, and they would be a great person to be in there. Okay, next you would come up with questions. And we generally come up with about 8 or 9 questions that are EEO compliance. And what that means is that they are approved and they are not discriminatory questions. Your field reps can give you a good idea of some good questions to ask and some questions maybe not to ask. And we're going to go over a few of those in just a minute. Then you'd arrange for the interview, and then you would give the applicant a copy of the job description. Okay, say for example, if you don't have the job description, give them a copy of the job posting, because the job posting should be very close to what the job description is. And that way they have it in their hand and they know what is, what would be required of them, okay? During the interviews setup, you're going to review the application, you're going to review the resume, you're going to kind of talk about it with each other. You're going to have that job description on hand, and you're going to allow for about an hour because you don't want to be rushed, okay? And then you'll have your set of interview questions. Okay, these are just some suggestive topics that you can ask questions about, such as work experience, job knowledge, education, training, teamwork, problem solving. Okay, so this is really important. You want to make sure that you ask each applicant the same questions, okay? Because it's not fair if you don't ask the same questions to each person, okay? Make sure that you ask open-ended questions. If you ask a yes or no question, what are you going to get for an answer? Yes or no. If you ask an open-ended question, you're going to get probably a lot more information than you ever thought you'd get, okay? So open-ended questions work really well. Okay, I'm sorry. Make mental and written notes on key items. What you don't want to write down, okay, note to self, nothing discriminatory, okay? Nothing not nice, nothing about how that person looks, maybe even if they offer some information up, okay, and it could be held discriminatory or it could be taken discriminatory, please do not write that down, okay? Very, very important. Okay, be honest, okay? And what I mean by that is, for example, if this job is working outside, say for example it's a technician, and this person's going to be working outside and they're in area 1 and it's going to be cold outside, that person needs to know, this is going to be, there's going to be some times, right, that you're going to be outside in inclement weather. That's just the nature of the job, okay? Also, for example, I say be honest, if expectations are set for this job, it needs to be communicated to each applicant, okay? Then give the applicant an opportunity to ask questions. Ask them, say, we've interviewed you, now it's time for you to ask us any questions that you might have with regard to us or the job, okay? And then always give each applicant equal consideration. Okay, one thing that you do not want to do is you don't want to get into an argument with the interviewee, okay? So avoid controversy at all, always. And then the last thing, this goes with being honest. But please do not leave the applicant with any false impressions with regard to, say, your duties or your pay or advancement. So for example, if you were able to start out this person at $10 an hour and that is the ceiling that the district is able to pay, that needs to be presented to that applicant. Because if they ask a question and they say, well, are there merit raises, or when can I get a raise, and all these kinds of things, is there upward mobility? Well, just be real honest with them, okay? Because that open communication between the two of you will solve a lot of issues later on, especially if you hire that person. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these. I'm going to touch on a few of them. These are some prohibited questions, okay? Are you married? Do you have children? Are you pregnant? How old are you? What medical conditions do you have? Physical disabilities do you have? Here's a key, okay? If they've applied for the job, one of the things that you need to ask them before you even get started is there anything in the job opening or the job description that you are unable to perform? If they say no, then that means that they are able to perform everything in that job, okay? Those were just a few questions, okay? Then after the interview is over, the interview team would meet, the applicants would be discussed, we usually, the state, our agency likes to keep we ask for 3 references. The applicant with the high score, let's say for example that you were scoring them and you have a 1 to 4 ratio there, 1 being a rank, 1 being low, 4 being high. The highest score at the end would be recommended. And just remember, before the job is offered, to remind that person that the job is an at-will position. There are at-will clauses and statements on our website that you could have them sign if you'd like to once they accept the job. Does anybody know what at-will means? Raise your hand if you know what at-will means. Sir, what does it mean? I'm sorry? I can fire you whenever I want to, okay? What else does it mean? I'm sorry? They can quit whenever they want to. Okay, so it's a two-sided coin, right? So I can let you go for any reason or no reason at all. Along with that, I can leave for a reason or no reason. Very good. What district are you in? And who's your field rep? Ben is scoring today. And what about you, sir? What district? Which field rep? Tony. Oh, good. Great job, Tony. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, and then at the end, you'll want to fill out paperwork. Okay, so just to let you know, I did, prior to coming over here, I did check the resource area on our website. And once again, it's on the very front page. It's under SWCBs. It's at the very top heading. And all you do is click that button, come on down, and you'll see resources. Click that button and come on down to HR. And you're going to see a lot of forms. There's a lot of forms here. There's a W-4 form, and it's up to date. There's a brand new I-9 form. It's up to date. Everything is up to date on the website. I verified it a while ago with Claybright. So make sure that you fill out all the forms you need. Some of the districts do offer insurance. Some of the districts do offer retirement. So all those papers would need to be filled out. And that's all part of the orientation process. Okay, so that is my spiel. And I appreciate your time. Are there any questions, or what time is it? What time is it? Really? Seriously? Wow, I talk fast. Sir. Okay, that's a good question. So the question is, how do I feel about screening employees or potential employees on Facebook? Okay, so I will say this. Being the HR coordinator at our agency, I have looked at people's Facebooks before, okay? And I don't see that is a problem for you to look out there. I do not. It's public information. If you have a Facebook account, it's public information. And once again, if you think, I'm just saying this, but if you think that what you're doing could hold you back from a job, you probably shouldn't put that particular picture on Facebook. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Okay, so as far as references go, we ask for 3 with our agency. The best references that a person can give you are their prior employment supervisors. Okay? If they don't, and I'm not saying to discount it completely, because they may have had not a positive experience maybe at the prior place that they worked at. So, but they may have put somebody down on their reference verification that they worked with. And I would highly recommend doing that. If you would like a copy of, say, just like, for example, what we as an agency ask those references, I would get with your field rep and I will get that information out. Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
A lot of businesses are limited in their HR departments.
Okay, that's a great,
One question
oh,
is always legitimate answer is are we eligible to retire?
okay, great question, great question. Okay, so the question was, what do you tell somebody if they call you? Okay, I'm the HR coordinator and somebody calls me and they want to know information about a prior employee of mine. What I give them and what I would recommend for you to give them are dates of employment and position held, period. That's it. That's it. No more questions. That's the information that I can give you. They're going to want to know all kinds of other things, and your answer is John Doe was a bookkeeper from this time to this time. Thank you very much. And smile. Back at the back.
Is that something that the district clerk can answer, or do we need to send those questions to the chairman?
I would send those questions to the chairman. I would send those questions to the chairman. The other topic that you mentioned was, are they eligible for rehire? Okay, so let's say, for example, that someone asked me that question. Are they eligible for rehire? What I put down is they are eligible to apply. It's a safe question. It's a safe answer, okay? It's a safe answer. There's your safe answer. Are y'all getting hungry? Y'all don't want me up here anymore, do y'all? They saved the best for last, right? Is that good? All right. Okay.